After 4 fabulous days of action, at last it's time to complete the lineup for the semi-finals of this year's Johnson Paint Players' Championship. As one of China's brightest young stars finally has a chance to take on his boyhood hero. Today, the International Centre in Telford becomes snooker's theatre of dreams, and the crowd cannot wait for the action to start. Please welcome a player Stephen Hendry has described as being nothing short of a revelation this season. English Open runner-up in October, International Championship winner in November, and he has scorched up to 3rd on the one-year list. What a day this is for China's snooker panda, Zhang. And his opponent, one of the finest sportsmen Scotland has ever produced. Winner of 31 ranking titles so far in a truly glittering career. Bidding for his 6th semi-final of the season, the one and only Wizard of Wishaw, John Higgins.
It's the tail, your choice.
It's a full house Friday at terrific Telford. The question is, they say, never meet your heroes.
Thank you, the first frame.
Zhang disprove that and have a day to remember, results-wise.
Yes, good afternoon, Phil. It's one of those matches where Zhang has got to put it all aside and remind everyone why he's in this strong position. He'll be in the Tour Championship. He's had a terrific season. And amazingly, in 15 years as a pro, John a lot longer, these two have never met. How is that possible? The quirks of the draws and the seedings. An early opportunity for Zhang, and he's in lofty company, isn't he, with the players left in. This season has been a revelation. He's up against his hero today, and Mark Selby and Ali Carter, Mark Allen, all still in the event. Well, it could hardly have finished in a worse place, actually, for potting a colour.
He's a groove player, Zhang. When he's playing well, he just keeps on and on at a very high level. Before this season, before his breakthrough,
Zhang 1.
I've seen him play the odd match here or there, which has been very impressive, but he's never strung it together, not like this season. Higgins well aware of the form his opponent is in.
Yes, I mean, it's not as if Zhang has come out of the wilderness, as you're pointing out. He has played good matches. He's played at the Crucible 3 times. First time up against Stephen Hendry. And Hendry was on the tour before he had that 10-year retirement. But as you say, a little inconsistent, and I don't think he didn't ever strike me as the most confident player, but yeah, that is all changed.
In needs to try and ignore who he's playing. But of course, considering the regard he holds Higgins in, that's going to be difficult for Zhang.
Wow, and a miss. Zhang under 4.
Interesting one, isn't it? I'm not entirely sure I know which red he was trying to hit. I thought it was the red in the bunch. And then I wondered if he was trying to hit the red at the bottom. It's isolated. He missed them both by very little. But not being put back in.
This wonderful season for Zhang started off very badly. Didn't survive his group in the Championship League ranking event. Then he lost in the first round of the European Masters and indeed the British Open. But ever since, he's been red hot. And over the course of the season, Zhang has beaten some big names. Ronnie O'Sullivan, twice. Mark Williams, Ding Junhui, Judd Trump, Luca Brissell, Mark Allen, all on the list.
Yeah, and as you're seeing, he's got an all-round game. That is a fantastic safety shot. He's put the cue ball where, if you could place it with your hand somewhere on the bolt cushion, that's where you'd put it, where he's finished.
Lots of risk here. After that shot, the Reds even more nicely fanned out. Whoever gets in first should make a few.
Well, the Reds are very well scattered, but it appears that there's not a great deal available. I think that almost underlines how difficult that shot is from that angle, because it looked for all the world as if it was going to drop into the centre pocket.
Yeah, that camera angle illustrating there's just no margin for error. Just while we're thinking about last night still and the imperious performance of Mark Selby against Ronnie O'Sullivan, I think it's worth bearing in mind that when John Higgins won this Players' Championship in 2021, he beat Selby 6-0 at this stage, and Selby scored 7 points in the match. One of the most remarkable achievements in the game's history.
It's a good cue ball, but the Reds are travelling all around the angles, and there's one been left on. I think the other thing remarkable of that, Phil, is that Higgins was sensational all week, but that remains his last ranking title, and I think that's the... If you'd seen him play that week, you wouldn't have believed he could have gone this long before striking again.
Yeah, absolutely right. He lost 4 frames in total on the way to lifting the trophy there. We assumed he was going to have a golden period to follow, but since he's been a nearly man.
Well, half-ball kiss has left him, well, in no man's land, really. I mean, pink to the corner, moving away from the Reds or the middle, difficult. So, not a certainty to play the pink here. He might just feel that a safety shot at this stage, I know there's been quite a bit of it, but if he can land the cue ball somewhere where he's looking now, it could be a horrible shot that his opponent is left with to get the ball safe. So sometimes you know you can be positive in defence. People assume that, you know, if you're playing a safety shot, you're not being positive. But if you can find a shot like that, it tells you that you can wait one and end up miles better off. I think that's how John sees this. It'd be interesting to see, now that Zhang has come round to look where John was, what is his shot here? Maybe a safety shot on the red just above and to the left of the pink. But if he catches it thick, that's... It's a terrific shot. It really is a very fine reply.
Two similar players in the fact they're studious. When they get in, they can score heavily, but also, tactically, they're very astute. None more so than Higgins, of course. But their styles are similar.
Well, a lot of shots being played from down that end of the table at the moment. Very good safety from both players.
One.
I guess there's always the chance of that. He's actually knocked the pink out, and in doing so, it was clearly a fluke. But in just nudging the pink out, thought he might be interested, but not at all. Dropping in behind his green. It's hard to cover
John
everything.
Higgins won.
Not a great shot, that. Now, there's been a lot of respect shown here. Zhang playing his absolute snooking idol, as you heard. Doesn't want to have too much respect. You know, he's going to have a go at John. Take on shots and get them. He's lucky, clearly. He put his hand up to apologise for a safety shot that's actually got John in bother, but it was nowhere near as planned. So we've had a long battle here. Not much has happened in the way of points being scored, but we've seen a good safety duel so far.
Following the pattern of yesterday afternoon, the Mark Allen-Gary Wilson match, where they combined for over 200 safeties in the contest. No ambition there other than containment. Reds left. In progress for 14 minutes already.
I think John feels he's always got that bailout shot where he just leaves the cue ball at the black end of the table if he can't get to the other end. It does leave you open to a good safety shot played back on you, though, and Zhang's going to have to do that here. So this is an intriguing battle, as I say, and it's been... it hasn't really altered where the Reds are. They're still in open play when the chance comes. Unusual start to the match. Almost feels like a decider, doesn't it? The way they're vying for a position.
I was about to say the wizard has weaved his magic, but the spell has come unstuck because there's no position attached. You can have slow starts to matches. Look at last week at the Welsh Open, Neil, Martin O'Donnell and Anthony Hamilton, their first frame was re-racked twice, I believe.
Yeah, and those re-racks were not just after a few shots. There was...
John Higgins won.
All the balls ended up on one side of the table. Twice, as you say, and it was over an hour before the match ever really got going. And we're not looking for that today. Maybe circumstances then. It's another good shot where he's not hit a baulk colour on the way up to baulk.
Has the white cooperated this time? Cracking pot.
Blue ball.
Well, he can get through to the blue. Goodness. Can as well.
Six. Seven. Right.
I just think they're going to have to stop the game for a moment.
Right, please.
There's
John,
someone
can you come
who's
out, please?
taken unwell in the
Stop the
audience,
clock, please, Des.
unfortunately.
Cheers, thank you.
Sorry, folks, but can you all, in an orderly fashion, just leave the arena, please?
Yes, the suspension in play. Wholly of habit that
You are on the
Zhang
colour.
Anda, on entering the arena, went and sat in his chair, but he might as well have just stayed down the other end of the table because he's still in play. Can he retain his concentration?
Yes, I mean, he got in very nicely, that blue that he knocked in,
14.
which seemed like he was buried in behind the green ball at the time. But he's made this chance come about. And as we say, he's got to keep his focus now that this chance has been earned.
15.
That's absolutely perfect, isn't it? Goodness me. Couldn't put it better with your hand again. So, yes, he's playing his idol, but he's very much in this match to win it, by the looks of things. Might be trying to impress John Higgins, but probably not impressing him by this very much.
20.
So many factors to his success this season, not least his scoring power. He's made 27 centuries, and that's 9 more than his previous best, with plenty of snooker left to be played, of course.
21.
The most startling thing about Zhang for me, originally turned pro in 2009, so 15 years on and off the tour. And this season, he's earned 49% of his total career prize money in this season
28.
alone. He suddenly hit the big time.
$29.
Yeah, I mean, it was one thing, but making in the most important match of his life, a 1-4-7 break during the final, I mean, that shows you're kind of almost elevating yourself in status in the game, aren't you, by A, winning the international, but knocking in a maximum when you're meant to be nervous, edgy, thinking about winning.
36.
It was all there. All the boxes were ticked.
37.
Well, it won't be easy, but if he goes on to make a century, it would be extraordinary because 22 minutes went by before he came back to pop that black. From red to black. Enough time to play 2 frames.
$42. $43.
I'm not sure what he played there. But it wouldn't have been quite like that. So now there's a bit more to do. 45 in it, so if he knocks this blue 50, red colour, and that won't be easy to get on a red from here. Got to sort of find himself getting in and out of bolt, but the cue ball's further away from the blue to make that an easy shot to control.
Zhang under. 43.
Yeah, I mean, I think when things are orthodox, he looks absolutely like he's never going to miss one. But there, he had to find a shot, and he missed it by an absolute mile.
.45 lead with 59 on the table. Zhang not over the line yet, of course, but the ball's very much in his favour. 4 of the 6 colours off their spots. Green, a little awkward. Pink, very awkward. And then, of course, there's the problem to solve with the reds.
That's all he could do, but he has, if nothing else, opened up the 2 reds, which was in John's favour. I'm not sure that he'd find it very easy to clear up here, even if the chance did come. We know that he's a master of mopping up in frames and winning them, but this is a difficult table. So how's John's cueing at long range? And this is quite a tough one, in fact. Zhang just stopping to have a quick sidelong glance at it on the way back to his chair. Not easy. Cue ball's good as well. You know, the other side of straight on the blue gives him an angle. It's very clean. He'd love that blue back in the game, back on his spot. He'd slip down onto a red from it as well. Slightly better looking table now. Obviously the pink later on might be an issue.
6.
You can see John getting in very much back into the frame from here.
Seven.
All of the top players have a catalogue of extraordinary clearances. Higgins, though, It's his trademark.
Wasn't quite how he wanted it. Yes, the red will cut back. Cue ball's drifting down the table if he's playing it. He's surprised if he doesn't play it, because there's no other meaningful safety shot you can play. But these are never easy. You can't see the line of the pocket from there. And that's John, isn't it? Giving it every chance of going in by playing it as slowly as possible. It's a good idea.
It's not easy. But if this goes in, he's banging.
Very good so far, but how's he going to get across from the yellow? Not only get on the yellow, but with an angle to go on the green. It's going to take a good shot. The pace is absolutely imperative. Yeah, that he judges it perfectly. Gone too far. Such a difficult shot. You're moving across the line
28.
of the yellow, and you overhit fractionally. That's the result.
John Higgins, 28.
But there was almost an inevitability about that. The only surprise, the cue ball's not directly behind the black.
Foul and a miss. John Higgins, 4.
Well, he's fortunate he hit the brown on the way back up, because that could have well been a free ball.
Yes, and the key here, I think, is that if Zhang was to miss again, yes, there wouldn't be the 3 strikes rule, but the sort of dynamic of the frame will have changed. The pink will be not necessarily something that John Higgins needs to get on the black from. And also further penalty points means that Zhang could end up needing the pink himself.
John, thank you.
We saw from the previous camera shot he could see the thinnest sliver of the yellow. But it really is a sliver.
Foul and a miss. John Higgins, 4.
Yeah, there can't be much sticking out because he's missed it twice. Sometimes you can just graze it on the way back from the cushion.
Onus on Ben Williams here to get this absolutely right, because it really is
A little bit.
the kind of
Further
shot
side.
where a millimetre makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah. John, thank you.
Well, he's gone back to the drawing board here. He might end up playing the same shot, but he is considering a different way of hitting it. Round the back of the pink, perhaps? On the other side? He's going to have to, if he's playing it this way, he must hit bottom and try and straighten the angle, because it's not the natural angle. Hit the yellow. He needed to get into the cue ball more and sort of screw it into the cushion.
John Higgins 4.
Is this a free ball? Is that changing things? Oh, don't think it was going to be one. Yeah, the balls hadn't quite stopped rolling.
Furthermore. Yeah, John.
We've seen a lot of lucky shots in this tournament already. And there's another one. The two players engaging in role reversal. Being off there would have been beneficial to Higgins. No wonder Neely's got a stern expression on his face.
Yeah, I mean, both players have worked so hard in this frame. One is going to end up disappointed. I mean, the shot, if you can stop the cue ball where the yellow is now and play the green, he could easily get it. There's a degree of difficulty about that. Seems like he wants to just run it through.
Two.
I'm not sure why that's better from there, quite honestly, than from the blue spot. Either way, it's difficult.
Seven in front, so he doesn't need the awkward pink.
Zhang under 2.
But he needed the semi-awkward green, and now there's another twist. The use of check side to be nicely on the brown. Higgins does need the pink. But not the black.
He's going to have to be careful here, because where he's going to be cueing this brown, surely he'll be very close to the pink ball in some ways. And he wants to make sure he doesn't foul it. Playing a part in the shot, isn't it? I didn't think he could get to it. Does it mean he's going to need the rest? Oh, he's got all kinds of stuff under there, hasn't he? Like Inspector Gadget, something new's coming out.
7. Can you please make sure your phone's on silent, please? Thank you.
Inspector Gadget always solves the case.
John leaving
12.
the trusty double, which he's become so well known. The cue ball's gone a bit further than he'd want. He probably level with the pink would have been his perfect double, and I don't know if he's gone too far or whether he can still take it on. He definitely played to leave the double.
John Higgins, 12.
But that cue ball ran and ran. And that was the end of that. It's not the end of the frame.
A 40-minute opening frame. That's actual playing time.
Yeah, it was a safer way of playing it. He didn't play to double it. He played that twice across, and you're never really going to overhit that and leave it over the pocket. Margin for error. Pink travelling all the way along the line of the bolt cushion. This has been an incredibly hard-fought frame. Either side of the interruption we had. John's got a chance to steal the frame now.
The pink did not threaten the pocket, and Higgins lucky where it's come to rest.
He's missed one chance, but John will certainly be having a dart at this pink. Cue ball is coming away from the pink down towards the black, which of course he doesn't need.
Eclipsing the 9th frame between Mark Allen and Gary Wilson yesterday afternoon. This is now the lengthiest frame of the tournament. What a way to start.
Yeah, you knew straight away that it was was going too close to the pocket. He needed it in the pocket. That was the only way it could go safe.
Six on the frame.
In the end, 44 minutes well spent for John Higgins. He leads Zhang 1-0. And back to the Johnston's Paint Players' Championship here at the Telford International Centre.
Okay, John.
This is the closing quarter-final.
Thank you. The second frame. John Higgins to break.
For John Higgins, it's a case of 1 down, 5 more required.
Yeah, not an easy frame for Zhang to lose because he played a lot of his best shots in that frame and still didn't win it. You know, his safety was immaculate. He was scoring well, but ultimately the frame went to Higgins.
The red closest to the cue ball will pot. So unlike frame 1, Higgins in immediately.
One.
Scored pretty well in his first match here, beating Ding Junhui 6-4.
6.
Made breaks of 102, 68, 65 and 100 to clinch.
Seven.
I think what I remember most about that match, aside from all those breaks, was the sort of the fist pump at the end of a long match. Not late in the first evening it finished, but with John, usually you don't see any of that. Not very much.
Well, so many subplots for Higgins in this tournament.
12.
12th on the Tour Championship points list. So every win is vital to get to Manchester. And if he were to get to the final here, then the Riyadh Season World Masters in Saudi Arabia would be calling.
$13.
Couldn't have played that better. And of course, absolutely A1 positionally. If he wants to screw into the pink and get these reds open, now is as good a time as any. Didn't quite hit the pink full on. That's why the cue ball slid away to the left and then
18.
has gone very awkwardly now. If you hit the pink square on and leave that cue ball in the centre of the table, get more impact on the reds. Yes, that red just passes the pink to the left middle. Just goes.
John Higgins, 18.
Didn't get anywhere near it, and he has left the red.
You see it time and again when there's a tight squeeze, the player tends to take the object ball away from the intervening ball.
1.
It's one of those shots, it's hard not to be distracted by the pink, which was close to being in the way, but I think you just have to ignore all of that, just pot the ball as if none of the balls are in the way. John just missed it, he got nowhere near it. That will annoy him greatly to finish in the one place where
5.
he's got awkward queuing.
Six.
Really good recovery shot, especially the cue ball not going into bulk.
The one
9.
thing you notice with Zhang in this kind of situation, he's very reliable in amongst the balls when it's all there for him. He's got tremendous concentration.
Ten. $15. $16.
Yeah, I think reliable is a good word to describe him. He's a nice cueman. It's a ball quite beautifully at times, and everything's
22.
when they're all there in front of him, you don't feel he's going to miss anything easy. Hopefully I haven't put the jinx on him now saying that. In that last frame he had a blue to middle that was a bit out of the ordinary, which he got nowhere near. Ultimately that cost him.
$23.
That's one of the most annoying things in snooker, when you play that shot and you end up just not quite right on the blue and not right on anything else either. So the recovery shot is not an easy
Green
one with
ball.
the rest. Very good shot.
26.
Yeah, perfectly behind the red.
With the rest, he's always been mustard. Only missed one of 20 attempts
27.
in the tournament. Being 1-0 down
33.
doesn't seem to have fazed him. He was playing catch-up for most of his first-round match against Noppon Sankam.
34.
Trailed 3-1 at the interval. Later on, 5-4. But eked out the verdict, making a 65 break in the decider.
Yeah, sure. 40. $41.
Well, if he takes red, pink, then there's
47.
43 in it with 43 on, but then, of course, the black would be safe as well.
$48.
But if he took another red anyway, I suspect the red that is next to it will be on the list. Don't think it's about him trying to just leave John able to tie. Very good. John has not played Zhang Anda before. He no doubt watched
54.
his results this season, and he must have seen him enough times in his 15-year professional career. But no,
55.
to me, he's hitting the ball as well as he was pre-Christmas when he was winning all those matches. The final of the English, big lead on Judd Trump, which he couldn't quite convert in that final. He's doing it like this. And this frame is going his way.
61. $62.
And that's what he does. When he's in, he normally stays in.
Beautiful break around the, mostly around the pink spot.
68.
Yeah, you can see there what he's taken. No black been there all the way through the break. 7 pinks, and he's really been manoeuvring that cue ball around the pink spot quite beautifully.
Thank you. 69.
Taking the pink here, he's got just sufficient for a century.
$75. $77.
Chalk and cheese, the first 2 frames. One very lengthy, the other one clinically.
$80. $84. $89.
Oh, well, it's a shame. He tried to get the black into play. As I say, it's been there all the way through the break. Now the century, more difficult. Cue ball round the angles. Pink's missable as well to middle. Oh, terrific shot. And the black would be another one.
Simply superb. Percentage player John Higgins took a gamble and was made to pay the price. Zhang ties the scores. This is the first ever meeting between John Higgins and Zhang, and it looks like being a cracker. Higgins winning the first frame on the pink. Decisively, though.
Okay, Zhang.
Zhang
Thank you, the third frame.
hitting back.
Zhang to break.
So many contrasts between these two. John Higgins involved in his 140th ranking event quarter-final, trying to reach the semi-finals of a ranking event for the 85th time. If Zhang does it, the third time, all this season.
One of those situations, you get the cue ball back away from the reds, but you have no control over the red that you're playing and that you might miss. And as you saw, that's the red he has left on. Look down to see onto the black into the right corner. Clearly not. Not to an angle that is to his left. See, the ready move is the one right close to the black. Just above the black spot, that's the red he wants to play on.
Green ball.
That's a good shot. That's right behind the red. Just what
Five.
Struck that nicely, got plenty of grip.
Twelve.
He's been scoring brilliantly of late. The week before the Welsh Open, he played in 3 groups at the Championship League. He made 17 centuries, including a 147.
20. $21.
Players are having no problems this week. Get that cue ball moving around.
28.
If anything, over-screwing certain shots. Match with Judd Trump and Ali Carter the night before last. The players were adamant that the cue ball was lighter than the other balls. They were getting so much work on it. I'm not sure whether that was true. But even that last shot John played, he really got the cue ball back and across. So now he's playing the other red. He's been stretching on the red on the pink spot a little too much.
$29.
The wonderful
34.
point about John Higgins, he very, very rarely plays an incorrect shot, whether it's break building or safety, whatever. Of course, he plays poor shots, bad execution, but always the right one, the one that offers most value.
35.
Yeah, an example was that shot where he just tried to bring one or two reds into play. He never quite managed it. To nudge the reds in play. They're still a little bit tangled up with each other, though. And there's one red that goes to the left middle. You just saw it on that shot he was playing on the black.
42.
Definitely a red which just about pots.
$43.
And it's pretty similar on this red to
50.
the opposite middle.
Yeah, he's playing through small gaps. Definitely can get through again here.
$51.
Nicely played angles-wise. Just running up towards the reds again. Nudging them. Standard's been very high. The first frame was long. And John Higgins kind of almost wore down Zhang to win it on the pink. But 2 frames since have been all about player getting in and absolutely taking advantage of it.
$58.
Yeah, he could have been on something a little easier than this. I'm not even sure that red he's looking at now goes. I mean, this was a decent split, but the reds are all, once again, just getting in each other's way. And just get through to that left-hand red.
Is that rain on the roof?
Back, squat and down.
A little over 50 years ago, rain stopped play in a match involving Higgins. Alex at the World Championship against Fred Davis. The roof leaked.
Pretty severe rainstorm outside, isn't it? This whole place is rattling around.
It never
John
rains,
Higgins,
but it pours.
58.
And this frame could turn into a black cloud for Higgins because they're all there for a counter.
One.
Yeah, I mean, this is in an early part of this best 11 frame match. This is something of a moment, isn't it? Whereby, like the rain falling on the roof, or a hailstorm, whatever it is, it's an excellent chance. I mean, it really is. The way he won that last frame, you wouldn't be against him
8.
dishing up again here. Yes, it's a hailstorm, that's why it's making so much noise.
Nine.
Apart from the elements, no obvious reason why he can't clear up here. Not an awkward ball in sight.
$16. Thank you. 17.
Yes, he's not really. I don't think he's got to move the two reds above the pink spot because they clearly go into enough pockets. Left corner, right middle. If he'd only play into them if he wanted to just hold the cue ball for his next red. Again, there's very good control. Very measured player.
24. $25.
Well, there's the pattern. Just a chance to stop
30.
that cue ball in the middle of the table, like I say. What a chance this is to steal a frame, which John Higgins was
31.
very much in top in. Got slightly awkward. I don't think the hailstorm made any difference. He just had a difficult red that he missed.
$38.
This is what Zhang is all about. Making very few unforced errors.
39.
And if we thought he might be overawed by playing his hero for the first time, nobody is thinking that now. Looks completely zoned in, unflustered.
.46. .47.
Good shot. Just a little hold now from the blue. Just play it gently to hold for the yellow. It's always better when you don't have to use cushions directly behind the yellow. And I tell you, this would be a good clearance at the moment.
52.
He is very much on track to make it.
54.
Always something that can go wrong, I suppose. But he looks pretty secure.
.57.
Just checking it. He'll only need the pink. Don't need the black to follow it.
.61.
Never a moment of crisis in this break.
.66. .79 in the frame.
In the calm, after the storm, let's hail Zhang under. He leads 2-1. Impressive.
Thank you. The fourth frame. John Higgins to break.
Fourth frame of the fourth and final quarter-final in the Players' Championship. John Higgins led 1-0. Now he's 2-1 down and very much in the market for winning this frame and going into the interval with a clean slate.
It's another absolutely immaculate safety shot from Zhang.
I think it's fair to say his career has been unique. Turned pro in 2009 after winning the Asian Under-21 Championship. 2 years later, relegated from the circuit, but soon made his way back on again. Thereafter, 2 more relegations occurred. The most recent in 2020, but the following year, he got his card back through the Chinese Billiards and Snooker Association Tour, and now he's flourishing.
So the red being pushed close to a pocket is a mistake. A little nudge on the yellow made things perhaps worse. Still not an easy shot to pot and get onto a colour from. I think the mistakes have been few and far between, and they've been minor errors in the 3 frames we've seen. They've been costly.
One.
He's come around the table, you're frightened to look. But he's got a shot at the black. Can he pot it? Goodness, it's a tight one. At least he can hit it. They're not buried in the bunch of reds, seeing no colour. I reckon he can get to some of that. Perhaps the potting angle. You wouldn't be using side on this shot because it's queuing down on the ball. Maybe the tiniest trace. Goodness, that's tight. He missed it on the thick side. Can you believe it? Which means he could have
John Higgins
potted it. Just had a trace of left-hand side on there. It's a horrible shot.
One.
This cannot be good news as far as a colour. Now what does he do? Yeah, he didn't really... I think he flicked the red on the way through, which probably didn't help matters. Now what, though? I mean, I don't think he can get to the black in any way.
Yeah, the cue ball's so close to the red, he can't even come off the side cushion to pot the black, I don't believe.
He can declare his colour all right. I don't think he decided yet.
Sorry? Yellow. Yellow ball.
Ah, okay, well... Playing... Well, I don't... Is he playing all round a wide angle here? This is an attempt, isn't it? What a shot! What a shot!
Put himself in trouble, and then trouble was a thing of the past.
Anything that could have made that better is if he'd have got right in behind it and completely snookered John, which wasn't a million miles away from happening.
whacked into the back of the pocket. He's a man brimming with confidence. Higgins knows his task today is a tough one.
I think he does. I think you're absolutely right. I'm sure John knew it wasn't an easy game, but he might have thought, well, all of my experience and all of my nous is going to get me through it. But anyway, John's going to win this is if he gets in and scores before Zhang does, because he looks very composed, very drilled in his approach to every shot as well. Even that long red, he gave it his full care and attention. As you say, it absolutely thumped into the pocket. There's a little bit of concern, I think, on John Higgins' face there.
16.
I mean, it's an absolutely superb chance that he's created on his own.
$24.
Didn't even touch the jaw of the pocket or anything. Straight in the middle.
$25.
A choice of a lot of different reds that he can play behind.
$32.
Well, he's quickly glanced up at the red up by the blue just in case he doesn't like the queuing on this red to the left corner. I don't think he will like it. But there's another red that's also in the equation. Into that same pocket, further along. That's the advantage of playing into an area.
33.
Art of break building, you're not always playing on one red. Where he played on there, he had 3 that he could have played. And this time he's got a slight angle, and will he try and just nudge into the reds? Doesn't have to. Just to hold the cue ball. He can play it to avoid the reds in the centre of the table if he wants to. Very measured once again. It's good stuff.
38.
Not spectacular, but it's hard not to admire his cueing and his work ethic on every shot. Process.
$39.
Delightful shot. Absolutely lovely little cannon. It's highly composed.
And because he reduces bad mistakes to the minimum, he has been this season, certainly. 3-1. Hugely on the cards. He's got an extra incentive today. Forget all
46.
the points and the money. He wants to impress the player he respects the most.
47.
We've seen it over the years in golf tournaments when young players are paired with Tiger Woods. They want to show off and show the great man their skills. And there's a similar dynamic here.
Yeah, I mean, clarity in the style of play, a long sweeping backswing. He's got a good safety game. And in amongst them, he looks as rock solid as John Higgins does. Don't forget the first frame. I mean, there was a significant break in play halfway through it. He should have won that frame. He could have won all of the frames so far.
$55.
Very impressive, and quite frankly, it's another frame where he hasn't really looked like missing anything significant, not when he's in amongst them.
61.
So this red, and the frame is his, barring snookers. But he's not stopping
62.
there. It's terrific, the way he's playing.
If you could bottle this concentration, you'd make a fortune. Just gets into a cocoon of concentration that's very difficult to break.
67. $68. $75. $76.
The only question now in the first half of this match, are we going to see another century?
83. $84.
Yes, I don't know which frame would hurt the most. He made, as you say, a century in frame 2, if he makes one here. But maybe it was the third frame that John would be more disappointed by than he got in with a 58. Anyway, no century, but terrific stuff.
84 on the front.
Wasn't it just? That was world class. 102, 72, then 84. Zhang, having lost the first frame narrowly, leads 3-1.
Welcome back, your two world-class players, Zhang and John Higgins.
Well, in some ways, Zhang is the story of the season, isn't he? You know, you kind of expect Ronnie and Judd to be winning tournaments, and they have been, but he has emerged from obscurity to become world-class, and we've seen it again this afternoon.
Thank you. The fifth frame.
The assured way he
Zhang
made that
to break.
century in frame 2. The excellent 84 in frame 4. He's on top. He's 3 frames from the semi-finals. With the money he's already guaranteed here, he's earned half his career prize money this season. And remember, he first turned professional in 2009. So it's a remarkable story. Of course, he's playing a remarkable champion in John Higgins, who is more than capable of turning this around. But it has to start soon. Be not so much concerned by the scoreline, but how well his opponent has played so far.
Another mistake straight away. All Zhang at the moment.
Yeah, worst possible way to start the second half of the match is to set up a chance. Black free now as well.
One.
If he was excited, which he was, the prospect of playing against John, he's hidden it well, isn't he? Which I suppose isn't unexpected, because he does typically have a terrific temperament, as we know. He's a tough read, is Zhang.
6.
This is going to be a bit much for him. He's not the tallest, as we know, so see if he can reach this, or maybe go for the mini butt. He's just very unfussy as a player. Test this. We'll enter bridge.
7.
Yeah, another one, as the boys were saying, middle for diddle, wasn't it? Tends to be his way. Absolutely in the heart of the pocket. Beautiful shot, wasn't it? And deservedly the choice of reds. Stephen mentioned about playing most shots playing ball, which is correct, he does. So, and good illustration there of he does have some weapons as well when he needs them. Lots of left hand side in that. John at the moment is a bystander.
Yeah, I suppose one theory today was that he might freeze playing his hero, but the opposite of that, maybe he thought, right, I'm going to impress you with how well I can play. And Higgins,
19.
I'm sure he's impressed with this performance. That's why he couldn't afford to leave that red on that he did.
20.
He was 55 in the world, Zhang, in early season when he reached that English Open final. And, you know, that's the sort of position where you're worried about staying on tour. It's top 64 stay on, but all that has gone away.
$26. $27.
I think when you're playing any opponent, you do look at them when they're at the table for signs of what they have in front of them. You know, that little plant
33.
appeared there. But as I said, he's such a tough read, is Zhang, that John will be looking at him, observing what's going on, and then all of a sudden he's got a plant when he showed no hint of
34.
excitement about it. He just, oh, there's a plant, and that'll go, then whatever follows, just gets on with it in his own way. Going along nicely again, just does not look like missing. This time he might
40.
decide to play on pink and black. Doesn't need to, but it'd be handy to get the black back on its spot.
$41. $48. $49. $56.
You
$57.
can tell a lot about someone by the company they keep, and he's not only rubbing shoulders with the top players in the world, he's beating them. Remember, Ronnie O'Sullivan's only lost 4 matches this season, 2 of them to the man at the table here, who's building now an impressive lead against another all-time great, who made just 1 error in this frame, Higgins. Looks like it's
64.
cost him again.
$65.
It's the coolness that's impressive, isn't it? The control he has of himself. You wouldn't think this was one of the biggest matches he's played. He's playing his hero. Just podding the balls. And it's like the interval never happened. It's just a continuation. First chance he got, he's won the frame.
72. $73. $80. $81.
Actually, when you look at his technique,
88.
it's very orthodox. Cue right between the middle of the eyes. It's really nice. Cue on plane.
89.
Never, almost never hits the ball too hard. And because, again, as the boys were saying correctly, he tends to play most shots middle of the cue ball. Keeps it very simple. Even there, that was for him a power shot, but because he cues it so smoothly, the cue ball makes the journey no problem.
96.
Because of the quality of ball striking.
$97.
So it's John Higgins who was looking for the turnaround after the interval, but Zhang needs this black for his second century of the afternoon. What a performance this is. Once again from Zhang Anda. It's like he's awoken from hibernation this season, isn't it? Suddenly, all of his best form is coming out, tournament after tournament. Missed that, but 104, terrific break, just needing one chance, and he keeps the pressure on John Higgins, who is being outplayed in this match. He trails 4-1. So Zhang Anda has made his second century of the match, and of course tonight it's the first semi-final here at the Players' Championship. Mark Allen against Ali Carter were live from 6:45.
John Higgins to break.
Mark Selby is, I'm sure, watching this and intrigued as we all are about how the match has panned out. That third frame was big, wasn't it, when Zhang made the clearance? It was a sort of John Higgins-like clearance, really, but it was the other man who made it. And since then, he's not looked back. He's had breaks of 84 and 104 to leave 4-1. He's 2 away from a meeting with Selby tomorrow night. Already this season, as I mentioned, he's beaten O'Sullivan twice. He beat Mark Williams as well out at the International Championship. Can he complete the hat-trick over the class of 92 in his first meeting here with John Higgins? He's looking a big favourite right now. So the red catching the blue has left a chance for Higgins, who's not potted a ball for 25 minutes in this match.
One.
John just having a wander around the table there when he came to it, even though he had the easy red. It's almost like just to try and get some kind of table time. At the moment, he almost probably feels like he isn't part of this match.
He's playing to a high level himself, but it seems when he loses these days, someone plays really well against him. We saw it last week, didn't we, against Gary Wilson in Wales. This match, though, not done yet.
9.
Yeah.
John Higgins, 9.
He's not really part of this match at the moment, John. And he's under extreme pressure every time he comes to the table. I think that's in part why you missed that black. He knows the consequences, or the probable consequences, of every mistake. I wonder if Zhang's thinking about having a pass at the pack of reds here and a gamble to split them.
Thank you.
That's the gamble. Still has the blue, albeit very difficult.
Not of a flicker of reaction, was there? You know, to not being on the black.
That's the other thing as well. He won't be hurried. Just a little wander, a little gander up the bulk end. Where do I want the cue ball? Eyeballing the green now.
Green ball.
Is it the pot? It is. He's taking this on.
Zhang under 1.
Oh, what a result. In fact, he missed it by so far. The cue ball travelled about 5 or 6 feet more than intended. Yeah, that attempted red to right middle by John, there was a bit of sort of, I'm being outplayed here about that shot. It's not a shot he would have taken on at 4-1 up, I don't think. He wants to take the straightish one on. But perhaps thinking, if I don't pot it, can I get away with it twice in a row? Fortunately, he has. But he hasn't this time. He's left a sitter. Every time you gamble, it's like going to the well, and eventually it'll run dry and he's run out of luck. Good attempt. But of course he had no idea where the red was going to finish, and it's the worst possible result.
1.
Yeah, the colours in unorthodox spots,
8.
but the black key ball back on its spot. And Higgins back in his seat.
Thank you. 9. $16. $17.
Test of cue power. This one. See, it's not his type of shot.
24.
Using lots of power, likes to be under control always. So marginally out of position.
$25.
This is actually good, I think. He doesn't actually have to do an awful lot with this cue ball. It's just brush the trio of
Ping ball.
reds next to the pink, and he should be nicely on at least one. Get the pot, the rest should take care of itself. Not great, but not terrible either. If this red goes in,
31.
he's good to go for 5-1.
Yes, he's not backed away from anything today, has he? He's gone for them full-blooded, without hesitancy. And in goes another one.
32.
Red's just sort of covering one another. Not easy to drop on one. Might risk some sort of cannon. Very smart. And it's also telling. This is
39.
not a sitter of a red, but he clearly fancies it. It was very smart because he pretty much guaranteed a shot at one.
40.
Just so clean, isn't it, the potting, again. Really is such an impressive performance, this.
$47. Thank you. 48.
So the black puts him 47 in front. A couple more reds. Should be 5-1. Just pressing on, isn't he? John Higgins a little unlucky in a way to leave the red that he did. Trying to stay on the black. Having potted it, came all the way back down the table, was over the pocket.
55.
But the fact is Zhang is playing the better snooker in this match. And showing no signs at all of wilting.
56.
Well, he still needs a
63.
red here, and this is not quite gone to plan. Just looking at the scoreboard, he still needs one more.
Yeah, that was quite wonder considering the way he's been playing. Rule number 1 here, I think. Whatever shot you play, try as best you can that John doesn't pot a red at the next visit, the next time he comes to the table. Ideally you want to pot this, but we know what John's like in these kind of positions. Don't encourage trouble if you can help it. Taking on the pot, and cue ball back up table. Swept in with a minimum of fuss once again.
54.
Brilliant shot. No hint of panic or worry. Stroked it in, nice as you like. Snooker's needed.
Well, in the interview he did with Rob before the match, he was sort of giddy with excitement, wasn't he, at playing his hero? But on the table, it's been all business, and it's been very, very impressive. We saw Mark Selby last night play fantastic snooker to whitewash Ronnie O'Sullivan, and this has been similar, really.
67. $74. $75.
Another century
78.
looming large, or looming likely. You know, I can't wait till
79.
the Crucible. Well, anyway, always, but I can't wait to see Zhang play this year. A lot of big tournaments to come before that. This one, Tour Championship, massive event. Wouldn't it be a cool thing if this guy went to the Crucible and played something
86.
like his best stuff? Because he'd take some stopping.
'88.
Plays in almost like a like a trance-like state. Almost oblivious to what he's looking like he might be
91.
achieving here this afternoon against this hero.
Yeah, this is how everyone wants to play, isn't it? With this coolness, this calmness. Certainly on the outside, anyway. Now then,
95.
kiss the black, so unless there's a trick shot coming up, it's not going to be a century, but it's as good as. 95 is as good as, because he's won another one in one visit. John Higgins with serious problems now. Zhang just one from victory, leading 5-1. I'd love to see a fight back, but his problem is the other guy, isn't it? Zhang Anda has been superb. He really has.
Zhang Anda to
lost
break.
a long first frame. Obviously, it wasn't anyone's fault, but they had to go off for 20 minutes because someone was taken ill. He lost that after 44 minutes, but then just completely shut that out of his mind. He's made breaks of 102, 79, 84, 104, 95. It's just been brilliant. And he needs one more to take on Mark Selby tomorrow night. We have seen over the years sometimes a player wins a tournament and they struggle to adjust to their new status and the new expectations that other people put on them, that they put on themselves. But that's not happened with Zhang. He got to that final, of course, in Brentwood. It was only a few weeks later that he won the International Championship. He's been pretty consistent since. We saw him in the quarterfinals of the World Grand Prix, and now he's a frame from the semis of the Players' Championship. Of course, he's very much bedded into the Tour Championship already, and he could still get in the new event in Riyadh, actually, if he won this tournament.
Wow. He took his time, but it was worth the wait. Another superb pot,
quickly,
giving
please?
it every chance, playing it at that pace. Very smart again. but very good.
Yeah, so first chance to get the match won, and the way he's played this afternoon, it might be the only chance he needs.
Four. Five.
Hasn't won yet, obviously.
9.
But the most impressive thing, I think, about this performance, rather than, I suppose, the actual performance itself, is there's precious little John could
10.
have done about this. He's simply been outplayed in every department by a distance. And John's as honest as the day is long as far as, you know, his own performances. If he goes on to lose today, he'll probably say the same thing. Beaten by the better player.
15. $16.
And the perfect angle. Get the full face of the pink. Big shot this coming up. Perfection. As far as the cueing, the pace of it, the work he got in the cue ball, it was perfection, really was. Beautiful shot.
In his hands then to finish off a wonderful afternoon with another one visit.
$22.
Oh, where's this cue ball going though? Wow. Well, that's an unexpected twist.
Yeah, just didn't grab. Desired now then, decision time, yellow or blue. Both on.
Blue ball.
He's been so positive and so confident all afternoon. Can he knock this in and continue towards the winning line? Not this time.
Zhang under 22.
Yeah, can't pot them all, but there you go. Last pot time, 26 minutes and counting. What does John have left here? Shot.
1.
Of course, the great thing about snooker, the almost unique thing is no matter how much you've been outplayed, if you do get the chance, then it is down to you. Zhang Ander's back in his seat now. So John Higgins just looking to Just steady the ship in this frame a little bit, get some table time, pot a few, and then
No.
you just never know. We've seen so many unlikely turnarounds down the years. I know one thing, though. You mentioned the Crucible, Alan, earlier, and it's interesting how quickly the narrative can shift, because after that World Grand Prix, so many people were saying it's between O'Sullivan and Trump for the world title, but it's not now, is it? We've seen other players really coming to the fore. Mark Selby last night, Zhang today. Ali Carter's playing good stuff. Mark Allen's been in good form. There's plenty of others as well as we continue our run into Sheffield.
25.
By the way, Higgins has played good stuff this season, albeit he struggled this afternoon. Even here, he just left this awkward.
$32.
Got to double down his concentration because he lost it momentarily there when he was awkward. Yeah, well recovered.
33.
Straight again for comfort. So, same thing applies. Concentration
40.
at a premium here. There's not a certainty.
$41.
Chance that certainly may never have come. Zhang just lost position, didn't he, on the black? Took on the tough blue, do or die shot.
$48. $49. $56. $57.
Two more pots to take us into at least one more frame. He's just checking the scores. This black puts him 42 in front, so another red needed. Just got to try and apply pressure.
64.
You do that by doing this from one chance, taking a frame that you look certain to lose.
65.
So it was a costly error from Zhang, not so much the missed blue, it was the positional shot prior to that that left that difficult shot on.
$72.
Thank you.
73.
Higgins' highest break of the day.
At least he has some much needed table time.
75.
And a nice contribution. A couple of recovery pots, so be feeling a bit better.
77.
Not out the woods yet, as we know, far from it. Been doing in recent months some calculations of the history of the Masters, actually. Best of 11 matches down the
80.
years from the very start till now. And a player trailing 5-2 has only a 4% chance of winning. That's what the stats say, anyway.
84.
Well, when Zhang was in, he looked like he had a 0% chance of winning, didn't he? But you never know. We might look back on that positional shot earlier as the blue just stays
Higgins,
out.
84 on the floor.
Zhang had his chance. He didn't take it this time, and John Higgins has made his highest break of the day, 84, to extend this into at least one more frame. Zhang now leads 5-2. So the last quarter-final here at the Players' Championship is not over yet. John Higgins with a fine 84 there to extend things. It's 5-2 to Zhang, who's playing superbly, but he's not over the line yet. Still needs one more to take on Mark Selby tomorrow evening. Remember, tonight's first semi-final is Mark Allen against Ali Carter, who, of course, was runner-up in this very event last year. John Higgins won it 3 years ago. That was his last ranking title success. He's come mighty close since. Of course, he's looking here today to reach a 6th semi-final of this campaign. And Zhang Anda, well, he hadn't been in any semi-finals before this season, but he's already been in 2 finals, won his first ranking title, and still a big favourite, you feel, to reach the semis here. But that man just needed one chance. That's the key thing there, to get that frame 1. And Zhang returns for frame 8. To feel confident, but he's still got to get this one more frame on the board.
Thank you, the 8th frame. John Higgins to break.
One of the best sessions of snooker I've ever seen was the final session of the 2018 World Championship final, where Higgins was 15-10 down to another great Mark Williams and came back at him playing quite extraordinary snooker. Mark, of course, responded, got over the line in fine style himself. But the danger is there.
First mini mistake by Zhang Anda. Now, what does John feel the path of the cue ball is going to be? It looks like a cannon on the greens, very close, so in and out of bulk, be unsure of it. Oh, just avoid it. That'll do. That'll do very nicely. And because the black's tied up, it might be worth a gamble. Full force of the pack. Try and make something. Yeah, it's all right. Bought the pink, but might tie the pink up. Worth a gamble, I think. Pace. Decide against it.
Five.
Just thinking of utilising the red left of that black at some stage.
Six.
Yeah, the only thing, it's actually not difficult to push the black just on and off the cushion with the cannon, but the red that's very close to it, might not move anywhere. So it doesn't really solve the problem. Let's see.
$13.
Yeah, you see what I mean? That red is still a problem.
$20. $21.
Yeah, full ball contact on the red took all the pace out of the cue ball.
Green ball. John Higgins, 21.
He's still a good visit, that. And John Higgins just has come alive again, hasn't he? Obviously wanted to continue, but clearly has not given this up yet. He knows he's basically got to play as well as Zhang did to get in front in the first place if he's going to win this. Yeah, Higgins tapping his cue on the table in appreciation of a good safety.
Foul. Zhang under 4.
Yeah, quite a bad blunder for a safety player of John's capability, but he hasn't left anything straightforward. As far as the cue ball goes, anyway. If he was to be aggressive and take a red on, got to do quite a lot with it, the cue ball. You're never quite sure which shot he's thinking about or indeed going to play until he plays it. You want to play him at poker.
Yeah, it's not great for him. The red's travelled into bulk. Good pot. Just stop
Zhang under 1.
normal safety back down to the bulk end.
That was a bit of a mistake there. Just a minor lack of concentration, not to get the cue ball tight. He might find himself in trouble. Yeah, John would have loved to have been tight to the cushion there. What can Zhang do with this? Keeping it simple, push the red past the middle pocket. John doesn't have an awful lot to work with. Now can John refuse this straight red? It's not a shot he'll want to play. Yeah, he's refusing it. Does have a possible pot, this one. Not a lot to aim at though. Not a lot to aim at with those shots. That was a toughie. That's a brilliant shot. If he's left the red over the corner, which I think he has, he's really unlucky. That was a terrific shot. Get the cue ball tight to the cushion. It might have been spoiled. It must be tight, this.
Good grief. Well, first glance, he's got away with this in a big way. Flick this red, cannons the pink. You think he might have fluked it. You think he might have left it, and then the red comes away from the pocket.
Yeah, wasn't there so much going on with that shot? Some safety shot, wasn't it? So what does he do? I mean, there's no pot on. There's no aggressive safety on. He was actually in a, well, not trouble there, but it was one of those positions where he just couldn't really do anything. Now, does John pull the trigger on this red? It is a very nasty one. He won't fancy it, but he can't stop himself playing it.
Well, he's sort of in two minds. He doesn't want to play it, it seems.
Yeah, fair play to him for not being tempted.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been, right from when he was young, an ultimate percentage player, Higgins, weighing up risk and reward. Of course, he's on the verge of elimination here, but equally sensing there might be a way back in.
Yes, actually, that red that he turned down to right middle, an awful lot of players and a lot of players on the tour listening, watching this match will know exactly what I mean. There are a lot of players, understandably, you think, oh, he's all over me today, I just can't keep him off, and do you know what, I'm just going to take it on. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't. But John is, David correctly said, he's made of strong stuff, as we know.
Well, this a 7-minute standoff since the last ball was potted. John Higgins got away with one in a big way, didn't he, when he failed to get through to the red over the pocket, or near the pocket. Still on. all the practice that these guys do, and they do plenty, you know, the frames just sort of can take a strange pattern, and this one certainly that.
Thank you.
It's a curious one, this, isn't it? It's almost like, I don't think John can avoid leaving this red. Almost it's going to be extremely difficult. And behind the black. Great shot. Fortunately, it was a natural, wasn't it? But it was crucial that he got the cover, because Zhang would certainly have taken it on. Now, the two together nearest the baulk cushion will be his target, but how does he get there? There's no path, it's one cushion. This side of the loose red, and try and get the cue ball back somehow towards the black spot. Yeah, played on the one by the green. But he has left one.
Funny old table, but John Higgins does have a red to go at.
Yeah, it was quite a strange choice, I thought. Zhang playing the red by the green, because he was bound to leave a shot at that. Anyway, he's gone in. Chance for John. Quite a nice table for him now, where the scoreboard is.
6. Seven.
Yeah, he just demonstrated his patience and just awareness of, you know, these match situations. Or a couple of reds he could have took on. He didn't think it was worth the risk. Eventually, with the aid of that snooker, has earned this chance. I think this is why you get players like Zhang, and there's plenty of others on tour as well, who really look up to Higgins, because you can just learn so much from him. And some of them have learnt the hard way, haven't they? Zhang's hoping he's not in that category today.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you. Thirteen. Fourteen. $19.
The red tight to the green, obviously a big advantage to Higgins with the lead he's got here. happy with this one, but he's playing it. He was never happy with that, and he's missed it, so
Higgins,
the break
19.
ends. The lead is 35.
Couldn't ever get comfortable on the shot. So, very decent chance to at least get back into it.
1.
You'd see John's head just sort of moving just on impact, just maybe just after it. That's straining.
Eight. Thank you. 9. Thirteen. Fourteen.
You just never know what he's thinking now. He's landed straight about as bad as he could have on the brown, and absolutely no reaction. So
18.
promote the green and red, or both, hopefully, off this. It's one of those, isn't it? Playing a cannon, your eyes can get taken off the pot, so the pot all important.
Yeah, well, the red is now free and potable. Green obviously still in a safe position.
Just trying to get clear in his mind the pattern, the order he wants to attempt to get these reds, and how to deal with the green. It's actually not that big a deal to certainly move it when
23.
potting that red near the baulk line.
24.
Well, it would sort of feel apt if he was to make another Higgins-esque clearance to beat the 4 times world champion here. John Higgins was looking good to maybe get another one on the board, apply pressure at 5-3. Will he get another chance, though?
Yeah, he's bossed this match, isn't he, pretty much from, well, since second frame onwards.
29.
It's one thing having a big fish on the hook, you've still got to land it. This is far from an easy chance to do that. But, as I say, feel sure, no problem moving the green. I'll get the cue ball out of there as well. The cue ball releasing from the cushion. And John will be relieved to see the green still tied up and the brown's no good, it's too straight.
$34.
I think that the double's certainly the shot, because John also needs the green. So that gives you a little bit of insurance. Yeah, that was the correct way to play it. Take it on.
Zhang under, 34.
Yeah, so Zhang took the risk. Will it be double trouble
6.
for Zhang if John plays on this? He's thinking about the deep screw to promote it. Couldn't get it, so
8.
here we go then. Will it be double trouble for Zhang? Just the man for the job, but not all that easy.
11.
But made it look so.
There's surely never been a better doubler in snooker than this man. And what an important one in this match. He has his chance here, brown and blue, to take us into another frame.
15.
A dramatic frame it's been, 28 minutes. Feels like Zhang Ander's made all the running today, but he's not yet over the line.
20.
A tale of two doubles in the end. Zhang failing to double the red. Higgins
26
successful on the green.
John Higgins.
And John Higgins takes the frame. And now suddenly it's a lot closer. Zhang Ander's lead has been reduced to just 5-3. John Higgins striding back into the arena here. This match still very much up for grabs. 5-3 to Zhang Ander. It was 5-1. Quite a tense old
Thank
frame,
you, the
that
ninth
last
frame.
one.
Zhang Ander to break.
In the end, the doubled green obviously key, but also the pot on the last red. You know, that was missable from Higgins, who potted it very cleanly. And here we go, frame 9. Zhang still one away.
And John's chances to pull off a victory have increased to, statistically anyway, a 16% chance. That's what the stats tell us. from 5-3 behind in a best of 11 to top 16 players. Feels more likely than that, right enough, doesn't he, to win because of the great player he is. This is a tough pot. Got to get the cue ball out of there. Oh, shot of the match, certainly by John.
Four.
Yeah, the danger here, of course, for Zhang is that the John Higgins he's admired all these years and he's talked about suddenly shows up. And that red is a good sign if you're supporting the Scotsman.
5.
He looked certain to lose 6-1. It was just one shot Zhang underplayed. He lost position. He was playing for black. Cue ball came in behind a red. He took a long blue on, which was certainly missable. And that has been a big moment this afternoon.
That was a proper shot. Now he's in business. Absolutely perfect.
10.
You know, the cue ball there, it's travelling, well, all told, probably 15 feet. Dropped it on a halfpenny. So good to go now, John. And in stroke.
11. Eighteen. 19. 26. 27.
'For matches to turn around, you need really three things to happen. You need your opponent to make mistakes. Zhang's made a couple, not many, it's got to be said. You need to improve your performance, which Higgins has done, and you also need the odd bit of luck, which he's had. Remember the red that was over the pocket and he caught another one on the way through, didn't leave it on. The double that Zhang took on, that red could have landed anywhere, he did leave a pot on. But if all three things come together, he can still win this match for sure. As he goes into them, this time he didn't get any fortune. And the little rap tells you how disappointed he is.
34.
Yeah, I think the rap on the table there is more John annoyed with himself by playing what he probably thought anyway was the wrong shot. He knows he's hitting a brick wall with a cue ball and unlikely to get it out of there. It wasn't the shot itself, I don't think. It was the choice, because he's normally
John
so
Higgins,
pristine,
34.
as we know in that department. But he's got a grip of things. And if the worst thing happens when you come a cropper on a visit, that you walk back to your chair with a cue ball and a bulk cushion every time, don't come to too much harm. See, for first time today, it feels like John does have a grip of the way the frames are going anyway. He does have a possible cross double, that red on the left cushion. It just depends, you know, if it's a natural to get the cue ball up and down for the black off the spot without leaving too much, it's an option, but it might not be quite on. Red to far corner. Could be. Yeah. Well, a bonus. I don't think he knew anything of it. Thankfully, from a neutral standpoint, he's not going to win the match from it.
Yeah, his hand was sort of hovering whether to apologise or not there, but he's not on a colour. So it's not the fortune it could have been, for sure. But what is true, it's gone from being really a procession for Zhang Anda to now, in the room, very, very tense.
Zhang Anda 1.
Actually, that was very clever. Hamper John in the 2 in the open and try and talk him into releasing one of the safer reds. Very clever indeed, Zhang Anda. That was noted, pal. That's what's great about seeing players coming to the fore, the top of the game. We get to see lots of them. You learn things. You try to every time. He's giving John a good old here now. Can he find a good safety shot of his own? Yeah. Glued to the cushion. John's in trouble again.
Yes, and the one difference between them, of course, is Higgins is aware he's potentially one shot from losing the whole match.
It's like Zhang Anda understands, I think, the nuances of safety play. With that last safety shot, it wasn't in behind the black. That was not a thing. It was get the white on the cushion, and John's in deep trouble. Simple stuff, but very effective. Just recognising what's the important side of it. almost confirms, doesn't it, a minute and counting. There's another red in the open that Zhang wanted. A calculated gamble, which I think was worth a play. Unfortunately for him, it's just caught the top bump and a half chance for John, but got to get this. And at the same time, a lot of attention to his cue ball to get it in and out of balk somehow.
One.
In it goes, and a useful lead in the frame already.
Six. Seven.
So Higgins ultimately has won the standoff. Now it's up to him to put the frame away. And at 5-4, it really is anyone's. Higgins is aware of how a player feels, of course, when
10.
their lead is being reduced. It's happened to him a few times in the last couple of years.
11. Thirteen. 14.
'Just needs to mind his work here for a few more shots.
$18. 19.
2 more pots, in fact, required. And Higgins would have won 3 on the spin. Again, it was a double that Zhang attempted. The red could have run safe. He left a chance to middle. It was a big shot for Higgins, of course.
23.
Had to get it. He did. And now he needs this. And we're going into another frame.
24. $28. 29.
Played a lot of snooker these last few weeks, Higgins.
31.
Quarterfinals in Germany, played a full week of Championship League, semis in Wales.
32.
So he's very sharp, playing to a very high standard. In this match, he's been playing catch-up, but it's not over yet.
$36.
Best doubler ever.
37.
And let's be honest, the last couple of frames, the doubles have played a part. That one was kind of academic. The frame was won.
$44. $46. $49.
Many years ago, they played a tournament here, the Grand Prix in Telford, this very venue, and John Higgins actually withdrew during it
53.
because there was a scheduling clash with his brother's wedding. But here we are, quarter of a century on. He's going nowhere, is he? This afternoon,
58.
he's found a way back into a match where his opponent was outplaying him.
$64.
And he's now playing the sort of snooker that suggests he can turn this around. What a contest it's turned into. John Higgins wins 3 on the spin. Zhang under big pressure now to try and kill it off in the next frame because his lead has been reduced from 5-1 to just 5-4. So it's 5-4 to Zhang. It was 5-1. It's been a dramatic last hour as John Higgins, as I say, has found a way back into this match, playing some really good stuff. Just made that 71, of course, to seal the last frame. So he needs 2, Zhang still needing 1. And Zhang, of course, we must remind ourselves how well he played to take the lead. He had 102, 79, 84, 104, 95 over the breaks, but John Higgins has hit back. They both had a round of applause as they returned. What's it going to be then?
Thank you, the 10th frame. John Higgins to
wins
break.
it here, or we head into a decider. Of course, he had to survive one in the first round against Noppin Senkom. Higgins had a close match against Ding Monday night.
John, I wonder if he can take this red on to the right centre. He only would do it if it was the only red he would leave, so not an option. don't think it's unexpected, this exchange in this frame. I think both players are actually very similar in their approach. I think they're both used to going into each match thinking that they're going to dominate in the safety department. So in some ways, a bit like playing against yourself. You know, not getting any change out of one another largely. It's just the odd mistake that you're leaving chances. Tactically, they're both superb. Red to far corner then. Beautifully played.
1. Four. 5.
If as we're led to
10.
believe John's been speaking to someone, a sports psychologist or something, that one thing you can never see is what's going on inside a player's head, obviously. And but if, as we
11.
suspect, he has been doing that, I think it's playing a part in this performance. He's never once looked like throwing the towel in. Even at 5-1, 5-2 behind, he still gives off an air of a player who thinks this is doable, this comeback, where lots of players, well, you simply wouldn't. Given up the ghost long ago.
Still with this, the spider. Yeah, and he's missed it. So Zhang,
John
after
Higgins,
what feels like a
18.
long time, does get a scoring opportunity here. See the disappointment in Higgins, having got him with that great red. Yeah, he's annoyed. But how is Zhang Anda feeling now after the events of the last hour?
1.
Fortunate to still have this red.
8.
The right middle. It's far from easy. There's not an awful lot of pocket to aim at. But it is on.
Nine.
Well, he looks so cool and so calm and in control of himself in accounting for the 5-1 lead. And his demeanour hasn't really changed, despite Higgins coming back at him. We don't know how he's feeling inside. We'll find out, I think, here. He's still going. Good red to continue this break.
$11.
Again, it's finished awkward over the pink.
Spider.
So he's now calling for the same bit of equipment that did for Higgins, the Spider.
What was all the fuss about? Terrific shot. Could barely get to the centre of the cue ball.
It's one of those, it's thinner than it looks, I think, on the main camera shot. And there was pressure on it anyway, regardless. But he's over that hurdle. Yeah, here it is from this angle. You can see, you know, you've got to be so precise. Still
18.
Not out the woods here, though. Yeah.
Zhang under 18.
Well, he missed it by quite a margin, and was still, he's left the red onto middle, so took quite a time, didn't it, that break? It wasn't much, and it came to a rather abrupt end. John Higgins gets another chance.
And a lovely target coming up. Pink and reds.
1.
It's always, difficult to predict exactly, but he doesn't really want the pink full ball. He wants a piece of the red to the right of it. Yeah. Still on one, but not easy.
6. John Higgins 6.
Well, nothing's coming easy right now. He's on a red, but again, could be so much easier. The tension has come to bear, hasn't it?
One.
Yeah, a really good pot, but as you see, no position.
Zhang under 1.
Yeah, that knuckle has just given John, well, a quarter chance, I guess you could say. Red to left corner. As long as he doesn't miss it thin, the ball should make its way to baulk, no problem. Oh, that will do.
These little nudges, you know, they can be so vital. My word, that was a big one, wasn't it? You know, I mean, but for that, he leaves the red on, it could be match over. Just follow the cue ball here and look at the brown and look at the nudge and look at the result. Wow.
Yeah, the red cuts to right middle. Sometimes the problem with certain shots is that they're quite unusual. You don't play this shot very often. Far from certain. Tricky pot. Bound to leave one. Well played.
1.
So, yeah, a couple of deep breaths, and John Higgins, cue ball just avoiding the middle pocket, gets another scoring opportunity in the to take us to a decider.
This shot he's got right here is actually one of the... It's what you practice for.
6.
At some stage in a match, you're going to have a mid-distance red, what we call a timing shot. And he timed this one nicely because it's the key to the frame. He plays on black. He timed it beautifully.
7.
So, all things being equal, John being the player we know he is, this should be a formality. Yes, there's pressure, but he should do this no problem. My goodness, how has he missed that?
John Higgins 7.
That is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it felt like the hard work had been done, and then this one, wow. That's incredible, really. So, well, you see the agonised look on his face. Once again, it's out of his hands. All that effort, all that work he put in to get him back into this match. Well, Zhang isn't happy where the whites finished here.
I do think the miss on the black is a simple case of you're not 17 anymore. It's one of those shots. It just happens, unfortunately. It's the way it is, I'm afraid. It's just the odd one you throw in. No great difficulty in the shot itself, but this has gone wrong.
Yeah, he was straight on the blue, so couldn't do much with the white. So
8.
black is playing the cannon, and as you say, it's not really worked out. The red still possible, but we've seen all sorts go wrong for both players already in this frame. has worked out actually really well. Obviously the pot, he's promoted the other red. This is a chance to get it won. I guess there's an argument it would be a better win after Higgins came back at him. He didn't care about that. He just wants to get over the line. He said at the start it didn't matter whether he won or lost today. It was willing to play John Higgins.
12.
I'll tell you what, it matters now. This is a golden chance to reach another major semi-final. He hadn't been in any ranking semi-finals at all before this season. He would be through to his third. If he can close this out.
$18. $19.
Yeah, and at no stage has he panicked. Far from it. He simply sort of waited for the storm to pass and thought, right, okay, when my chance comes, just make sure I take it. And it's a good attitude, if that's the way he's thinking. That's the way it certainly looks. And you just got to believe my chance will come. When it does, I'm going to take it, and we're out of here. And it's a proper chance now. This next colour to yellow is the only
23.
real chance that John has left. If he gets nicely on it, it should be job done.
$29.
The yellow and green. Higgins could still tie, so it's 3 pots for victory.
$31.
Yeah, and John will look at the black that he missed, won't he? You know, you think back and maybe that's what he's thinking about right there, because he knows this match is now gone.
Yeah, I've said a few times this
34.
season, John Higgins' problem is not that his game's gone, it hasn't. He's still playing to a very high level. It's just every now and again an unexpected mistake occurs. And we saw that miss black. You can see he knows it's over, the ground goes in. But credit to this man, Zhang Anda. Let's not forget how well he played to take that 5-1 lead and still needed to take this chance. The pressure was well and truly on.
43.
What a season he's having. Campaign where he has gone from 0 to hero.
49.
And to reach the semi-final here, he's beaten his hero, John Higgins. First meeting between them, it was memorable. It looked to be going the distance, but the miss black was key from Higgins. Zhang Anda has made the clearance, and it is Zhang Anda who will take on another 4 times world champion, Mark Selby, in the semi-finals of the Players' Championship. He's beaten John Higgins by 6 frames to 4.